Morning everyone. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to give us a like and a subscribe. It's Wednesday morning. This morning I was laying in bed and I was all jacked up thinking it's Friday. Grabbed my phone and I looked, it's only Wednesday, so that changed my mood in a hurry. So instead of having 1 cup this morning, I had to brew up 2 cups. That's how she goes. Running for a little bit of frost this morning. Second kind of weird thing that happened to me this morning is I'm on my way to work. It's kind of one of those weird times of year where you got to run the AC at the evening time when you're driving home and in the heat in the morning. Well, pre-started my vehicle because obviously there was frost, and I'm about halfway to work and my fingers are numb on the steering wheel and I can't figure out why. Well, here I forgot to turn the heat back on for this morning, so probably one of my least favorite times of the year when you gotta switch halfway through your day, heat to AC, you know. But gonna be one of our last days of planting, so stay tuned and check it out. The Wednesday walk-in versus the Friday. Here's Wednesday. All right, now here's Friday. Yee-hoo! It's so disappointing thinking it was Friday. We are loading up. Whoops. I shouldn't get so distracted. We are loading up the last of our vines. We're on our last bed for planting. This year we've loaded up 1,600 bales, or close to that, totaling like 82,000 pounds of cranberries to plant our 5 beds. That is a lot of vines handled by hand too. That's the unbelievable part, is that they get handled twice by hand before we plant it, basically. Between carrying the bales off the bed, and secondly then cutting the bales like you guys have seen. Pretty crazy. Morning 20s. Planting well underway on our last day here. We were able to put the vines a little bit thicker. We had some leftovers. So I've been getting asked, why are we renovating these beds? Well, the answer to that is the vines that were here, was a very old bed. It was about 60 years old. Unlike row crops, we do not need to plant cranberries every year. They come back on their own. So the reason that a 60-year-old bed was not great and that we're giving it a facelift here is because back in the day they didn't use drain tile, so we didn't have as good a moisture control. Things were either wet or they were really dry, so it just wasn't ideal growing conditions. Also, the yields on the crop were not as good as the new varieties that we are planting, and also the vines were just kind of sickly looking. That's getting old on a plant. So we brought in the new vines, gave this bed a facelift, and at harvest, we're gonna appreciate it. It's Thursday morning. I was about to upload yesterday's video when I realized I had missed a crucial point in our planting. And that is, how long does it take from planting, like you saw yesterday, to harvesting or getting a crop on the plant? So I'm in a 2-year-old bed here. This is what you commonly see running along the sand in a new bed. These are called runners. These will lay in the sand, they'll take root, and you'll end up getting these to come off of the long runners. These are called uprights. So as you can tell there, that one's got a bud on the top of it. The uprights are what produces the fruit. So on a first year planting, we disc it in, and that summer, you're gonna see it really fill into the bed nicely. The second year, you might see a couple buds, you might get a little bit of a crop, not much. But the third year, we're gonna have a very good crop on it. The bud's gonna be really good on that fresh vine. It's young, it's new, it's gonna be good. And then it's gonna continue to produce well for future crops and for many years to come. The morning started off a little rough, but we're ending with a bang. 2020 planting is done for the spreader. Now, the next project we're gonna be getting to is, as you can tell, there's no grass growing on any of the dikes or ditch banks around here. And you can tell, like down there, it's kind of sloughed off. The rain's got it kind of washed out. So the next project we're moving on to is we're gonna be sloping up all the banks. We're gonna be getting the edge of the dikes all set, the ditches kind of dug around the beds, and then we're gonna go into planting. When we plant them, the roots really hold the bank in place and prevent washouts. We don't want washouts in a new bed that we just planted. It makes a huge mess in the bed. The black off the bank washes down into that fresh sand we just put in there. It just makes a really big mess, something we don't like to see. So we'll grass it in and hope everything holds tight. Thank you guys for all your support. Stay tuned to Life on the Bog.